Scott. Welcome to Funnel Vision Podcast. We're excited to have you on to share your sales expertise, trip tips, and advice with our community of sales professionals. Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks, Alana. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and share what I can help people with when it comes to sales.
Yeah. So, what's your one go-to tactic for building long-lasting client relationships?
I truly believe is you need to go from not being the salesperson and become that trusted advisor to truly be involved with them on a day-to-day basis and really listen and understand. It's not just sales. When I work with clients, I like to understand holistically their whole business and work with them and see how it all pieces together. So, the big takeaway for me is, what can I share with them today to be helpful? Even I have my days. I rarely have a quiet day, but when I do have a quieter day, my goal that day is how can I serve and who can I help today? And if I do that, if I accomplish that in a day of helping somebody, I've accomplished my day and I can feel good about that day. But truly, when I work with clients, it truly is about how can I share insights, use my knowledge of the industry, the competitive analysis, and really understand and get ingrained with them to truly become that trusted advisor, not the salesperson and not that sales leader. I truly want to be that trusted advisor.
Right. I definitely agree with that. And it's about building those deeper relationships and trusting relationships where it's not just transactional, where you're able to help them provide, you kind of access to your network and whatever, you've learned in your past as well to help them grow and really be, giving of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
no, absolutely.
Yeah, what's the best piece of sales advice you've received and how has that, come to shape your philosophy and where did that come from?
Really starts with a very simple term: stop selling, start solving. And it is simply just that. The second I start selling, I'm done. You got to truly be ingrained and help that client and understand, I approach sales, to be not, be like a consultant, not a vendor. And, what am I here to solve? By doing that, clients don't buy products, they buy outcomes.
That's true.
They truly want that ROI, me providing that solution to their pain points, which drive the value and the ROI is exactly where you need to be. And it helps you build that deeper trust. It helps better outcomes. It builds the relationship because ultimately sales is one thing, relationship. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And it is about, kind of that deeper relationship. What else, like you said, what is the solution that they're looking for? They're not looking to buy something, they're looking to solve whatever problem that they're having. So,
and the outcome.
finding Yeah, exactly. And the
Yeah,
outcome of
yeah,
that and being able to understand to listen to understand what problem they are solving because even if you're selling the same product or service, you potentially are solving a different problem that they each client is having. It's not always unique, the same among, different clients.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, by doing those simple things, and solving, that will truly help build that trust. Be a trusted advisor.
Right. And what do you say is the best investment that a salesperson can make?
Invest in yourself. It all starts that, continuous learning. I've been in sales for almost going on 40 years now. So yeah, a little longer in the tooth, but I always learn. One of the game changers right now, and it's become a big part of my day and world and helping companies is the AI factor. AI in sales is absolutely huge right now. I've learned so much. I recently just got certified in AI to help in sales. And it really helps for a lot of things. It helps automations and all those great things. But a lot of companies really struggle with the hunting aspect of sales. Well, AI can do all that for you and understand that is filling that top of funnel. I work with a lot of teams and they're pretty good at closing, but they can't. They have really struggled with getting new clients in the door. The AI agents that you can utilize now are just a game changer now. And
Mhm.
so, learning whether that's, reading books, doing AI, how to be better at CRM management, understanding that how to invest in yourself is really key to you getting better, because then I'm allowed to serve better, solve better, and become that trusted advisor.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great answer and great advice. And it is investing in yourself, and that can go beyond, like it's not just one job. When you're investing in yourself, you take that no matter where you're going in the future, and you can always apply it to different things that you do, different companies. Maybe a company will that you're working for will, help you invest in yourself, but it's really up to you to take the initiative to do that and have the foresight to what you want to what things you want to learn, what books you can no people can hand you a book to read or tell
Mm-hmm.
you what to read, but unless you take the initiative for yourself, that's what'll get you to the next place.
Absolutely. And in today's world, podcasts, those are awesome, awesome things to utilize, So when you have that windshield time, right, going down the road or driving back and forth from a client, or you're just on a road trip, listening to those podcasts, because you know what? You learn so much from other people and watching people. And you know what? I had so many
Hmm.
mentors growing up through sales as well, and listening and watching them. And I've always been a firm believer of great leaders build the next great leaders. I was taught that early on. And you know what? I probably, if you ask me in my corporate life, what I was most proud of, it was the leaders I built.
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely. And what do you think is something that a salesperson should stop doing immediately?
Well, this one will sound like a broken record. I'm a little old, but stop talking and start listening. I always coach and mentor on use the 70-30 rule. You should be listening a minimum of 70% of the time and talking 30%. Because if you're not listening to it, all you're going to do is start selling.
Hmm.
And that's where you're dead in the water. You truly have to hear it, understand it, process it, because a lot of salespeople will come into an account and they're just throwing stuff out, going, "I got all these great things, and I can change your world and make your life so much better." Well, you haven't even heard anything of what their issues are, and if they even need that. So, and
Yeah.
the other thing is in today's world is, how do we communicate? Because yes, I'm a little on the older side, ground with that, and the boomer. However, and my daughter has a nice habit of, uh, you know, calling me out once in a while, going, "Okay, boomer." but
Yeah.
but uh,
But
but
but I think your advice is spot on. Like no matter
yeah,
even if that, stop, like you need
yeah,
to listen and it's more
yeah.
than you talk. That's old,
Mm-hmm.
old boomer advice, but it's still as relevant as ever. That's not, it's not that it's old advice that it's outdated. It is still like one of the most important things that you can possibly do, in life and also especially in sales.
Yeah, and like you said, the next step of that is what I will say is like meet people where they are. For communication. Like I said, I talked about myself, and from the old school sales days, put me in a room, I'm fantastic. I can listen and help provide the solution. Well, a lot of today's generations, millennials and the Gen X and Gen Zs, they communicate on a different level. So they'll prefer more digital. So you have to be able to meet them where they are, and so understanding that piece is key. And then along number one is stop talking, start listening. 70-30 rule.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that kind of brought me back to like thinking about your like what you were saying about like AI and technology. We use like Fathom as our note takers, and just right on Fathom, you can see how much you're talking in a meeting. So sometimes I'll be in a meeting with a client and I'll look at that Fathom note taker and it says, "Oh, you've talked 60% of the time." But it's a good, kind of technology to tell you like to show you how much you've been talking because sometimes you don't realize and kind of even that out. So just leveraging like technology like that too that we have that's so simple but to look and see like, oh, I've been
Mm-hmm.
talking way more than I should, and you need to stop
Yeah.
and listen. So,
Yeah. And the other
yeah.
piece too is when you are talking, don't be just trying to get like so many salespeople just talk so fast because they're excited and they want to get their ideas out there, but they're talking too fast. And you know
Hmm.
what? There is a time to, even in a conversation, have that pause, learn how to have that uncomfortable pause, because there's a reason for that pause, and understanding
Hmm.
that. And that's part of listening and communicating. So,
Yeah. I've been working on that with my team as well. Like I find like we do get excited about certain things. We do, kind of I'm guilty of it myself for sure, where I like all of a sudden then I'm just like talk, 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 talk. And like you really have to like bring yourself back, pause, slow down, and make sure that you're listening, make sure that the message that you're giving, putting across is what you want it to be, and everything else. So that's great advice. What's a piece of advice that you wish you'd known earlier in your sales career, and how can aspiring salespeople apply it today?
I would probably say, that listening piece was key for learning that piece. But early on, I just wish I had stopped, take the time to understand and spend more time with my mentors. Um, you know, Follow the path of the people who have already driven the road, and understanding and spending time with them and learning from them. Most of them are so giving and want to help and understand, just like I talked about, great leaders build the next great leaders. And they love to spend time with you and help you out. And you don't have to do it on your own, right? So be learning, have a mentor. I still look up to other, people, and talk to fellow people within the industries and not within the industries, because there's always stuff I can learn. So take the time. People are happy to talk with you and help you out, and utilize that. And if I'd done that sooner on, you know what? I did very well in sales. However, I could have just done so much better, and you know what? Get a few less road rashes off it.
Yeah, and just knowing that like it takes a little while to build that up. But like yeah, as a in my career, like when I was younger, it was like, oh, this person probably doesn't want to spend time talking with me, or kind of mentoring and things like that. But you realize then, especially like as you grow through your career, that it's something that people do enjoy doing. They do enjoy, obviously it has to be the right time and right place and everything, but people really do enjoy that, and kind of helping other people, and generally, like if you approach them in the right way, they do want to talk to you and they will give you the time. And I think that's hard for younger salespeople to sometimes see as well. Like, oh, this person is an author of this and they've done this, and they've done so many
Yeah,
good things.
yeah,
Do they want to spend time with me? But so often, they do too. So it's great.
yeah.
Um,
Even when I was a senior VP of sales, here in corporate Canada, I still, every once in a while, I would still ride with a street rep. I used to get teased at a little bit, and they go, "Why would you do this? Like, why you?" I says, "Because I'm going to learn as much, if not more, than they will, because I get the corporate blinders taken off. And you know what? I want them to realize that I'm not Scott, the VP of sales. I'm just Scott. We're here together. We're going to have a great day. And, here's the moment for me to learn. And then I can also learn from them is what's their aspirations, right? And find
mhm.
out that and look for that and help them. And anyway, and that opens up conversations for them to feel at ease and comfort and whatnot. So, that's part of giving back as well.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So switching a little bit to talent and sales talent, we all know finding rock star sales talent is tough. Um, what are your go-to tips or any advice for identifying and hiring, making sure that you're, really bringing on the right people for your team?
Absolutely. Hiring is probably one of the toughest things you'll do. And if you get the hire wrong, it's even harder. So having those tips and understanding what to look for to make sure you have that right person, make sure they fit the culture, understand that. But when salespeople, it starts with mindset. I can typically identify mindset within the first 10 minutes of a conversation. Um, every once in a while we joke around the salespeople are the special kids on the bus. And, but it's a mindset, because it truly is. The other 30% is skill set. That's coachable. That's teachable. and understanding that. But having that sales mindset is key, and I can pick up on some of those things to, to see how adaptable they are. Doesn't matter if you have 20 years experience. If you're not coachable, that makes it tough, right? You got to be coachable. You have to listen to that. I also, test real world situations in an interview, right? I role play.
Hmm.
Salespeople hate role play. But it's one of the most effective tools. And when you're hiring, you definitely got to do the role play and understand how do they react. And, are they, looking for answers? Are they, is it emotional? And understand, how do they handle an objective and how do they think on their feet? And to find out, to make sure they're not selling you something. So by doing that role play in an interview is really key. And I look for people that are naturally proactive and understand, they're always looking for opportunity, understanding that, they can grow as well. And you know what? I look for that self-motivated person, adaptable, coachable. I look for coachable because, like I said, some people walk in, they have 20 years experience. I got this. I know this. Well, are you being open and coachable? You're not. So finding those, some of those key things will help you land that right salesperson for the right company, and have that win-win. Because, as you know and I know, hiring is expensive if you get it wrong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, that's excellent advice. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about you. Where can people find you? A little bit about your practice and kind of what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Scott Wilson. I am a sales advisor with Sales Acceleration. I have my own company, Greater Vancouver Sales Solutions. I'm based out of Vancouver, BC, Canada. I've worked with clients all through the Western Canada, but I've worked with some in the US as well. I can be found on LinkedIn. I work with companies and I help them build a scalable, successful, repeatable sales organization, sales processes, working with the teams, mentoring them, and working with that business owner, and understand, that 3 a.m. when you open your eyes and kind of look at the ceiling, business owners still have that, and they're always concerned about that. And lots of times when I work with a business owner, they're so focused on revenue that that's all they're working. They're being the sales leader, and maybe they don't like it. They're really not. It's not their skill set. They're truly a visionary, and working with that business owner really helps them elevate and get into that CEO or business owner seat, and look after all the business. And I come in and build that, help them build with their teams. I work as a fractional VP of sales. I can be that coach, mentor, train, but it's all about sales foundation. You got to start with the foundation, and with sales playbooks and CRMs and teams understanding. So it's not even a thought. They just understand what it is. Everyone's rowing the boat the same way. It aligns with marketing. So yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find my website. If you go to Sales Acceleration and just punch in Vancouver, BC, I will pop up there. And my email address, which is swilson@salesacceleration.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming on, Scott. I appreciate your time and all the fantastic advice you shared. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Always happy to share. And if somebody got one great idea they can use in their business tomorrow, that's mission accomplished.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.